Hi Bobcats, it's Jamie from the Counseling Center again. Today I'm going to talk to you briefly about personal responsibility. It's huge. You are either transitioning into college or maybe you've been here a little bit, but with adulthood comes responsibility, and there's a lot of expectations for you as you are in college. So I just want to talk to you about it a little bit. So first of all, I'd like you each to think about, what does personal responsibility mean to you? You might all have different definitions, different key words that come through your mind, or different examples of responsibility that you think of. But for today's purpose, what we're going to be focusing on is taking individual accountability for your own actions, including accepting the consequences of those actions. Okay? So that's kind of the framework of where I'm coming from and thinking in this perspective. So I'm going to provide you 3 statements, and I want you to think about which one you think actually the person takes personal responsibility for. The first one is, I don't have a car because my parents didn't give me enough money. The second one, I failed because my teacher's ineffective. And then the third, I'm late to class because I chose not to set my alarm. Which one would you say is the statement of personal responsibility? It's the third one. I'm late to class because I chose not to set my alarm. That's a direct result of your action. When I went to bed, I had a choice. Am I going to set my alarm or am I going to leave it off? And I chose to leave it off. Therefore, I'm taking responsibility. Let's do one more. My advisor didn't explain things right. Now I have to be here another year. The second one, I ignored my emails and now I missed the date for possible scholarships. I better get a job to support my education. And then the third one, I shouldn't be in trouble with residence life. Sure, I knew about it, but she's the one that brought alcohol into our room and not me. Which one would you say is the example of personal responsibility? It is the one where the student acknowledges that they ignored their emails, they missed the deadline, and now they have to go get a job to help pay for their education. So there's some clear differences as you sit there. Now those may have been very clear for you, maybe they were a little bit fuzzy, or maybe there'd be some you want to discuss, but the clear answers were the ones that I outlined for you. Okay, so I want you to make a personal statement, and I want you to look at it and see if it's taking responsibility or not. For example, I got chewed out by my coach at last Friday's ATP session because the annoying presenter snitched on me. Okay? So that doesn't seem like a statement where there's a lot of personal responsibility. There's a lot of blame and shifting of responsibility there. So to switch that statement, it would be, I received consequences for my lack of cooperative behavior and respect shown to the presenter. Can you see the difference in those 2 statements? If not, I'd really enjoy talking to you about it further. So choices. You're faced with choices every single day. You chose to watch this video. You chose to quickly shut off the video. But every day you have choices as you encounter life and class and all things that you do. So your path and outcome is a result of the decisions you made. So you made a choice to attend Peru State College, and we're so glad that you're here. But that was a choice. You had other options and you chose our great institution. Don't wait for other people, luck, or chance. Take action. So what actions did you take to come to Peru State College? You chose to look at the website. You chose to apply. You chose to come to campus for prospective student meetings and to tour. And so those were all taking action. It just didn't fall into your lap. So think about that. What are you going to do to take action to reach your goals? You can either be a creator or a victim. So you see things that are happening that maybe you don't like. What are you going to do about it and take those action steps? Or a victim, I don't really like how this is. It doesn't feel good to me. But then you keep doing the same things that you were doing that aren't working. So think about, am I going to be a creator or a victim of my future or whatever I'm encountering at this moment? Hopefully you'll choose the creator. And then if you have a decreased amount of personal responsibility, you're going to have lower performance because you're always deflecting different pieces. It's always somebody else's fault. But if you have to own it and you know that, wow, I didn't do good on that test because I chose not to study or I didn't study enough, but then you think of your motivation and your choices, if you can step that up, equally the success is all yours too. So if you study and you get an amazing grade, that's all you and that's what you did and not anybody else's. So really think about owning more responsibility in your life and your path. George Washington Carver once said, 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. So look to eliminate, well, first look to recognize when you're making excuses, and then work to decreasing and eliminating those so that you have more success. Okay, so what kind of choices do you make? I'd like you to think about that. I mentioned a few of you choosing to watch the video. You can choose to go to class, you can choose to go to the party, you can choose to go and work out and be healthy. Those are all things that you get to decide every day. So how does this connect for you? You are responsible for studying, completing your work, turning it in, and getting satisfactory grades. Yes, you have faculty members, you have family and friends that can impact your education and different things that you do, but ultimately it is on you. The rest of us, the faculty, the staff, the family, and the friends, we have a minimal impact on you. Yes, they'll teach you the content, but that's all they can do for you. They can support you, but you have to study, you have to put the effort in. It is your success. You have to have motivation to exceed as well. So is it intrinsic motivation, where it's just personal satisfaction that you're growing and improving? And then there's extrinsic motivation, and so it might be, for example, wow, if I get my master's degree, I'm going to get a pay increase. That's my extrinsic motivation. So what is your motivation? This is something you really need to evaluate because it will impact your success at college. And I would encourage you to really think about what your motivation is. Perhaps write it down and put it on a sticky note on a mirror or in your car or your planner, somewhere where you can see it often, so if times get tough and you're really feeling challenged and you can't focus, to see, this is what I'm working towards, so that you can continue to progress and make positive choices that will positively impact your future. Some final thoughts. Adulthood is a really great thing and it can be really enjoyable, but with that, it brings responsibilities too. So don't forget that the choices that you make as an up-and-coming adult or as an adult, you're responsible for the outcome as well. I'm not being dismissive of people who've experienced really terrible things. Sometimes we have had a terrible background or terrible things happen to us currently in our lives, and that's unfortunate. But we have to either choose to let those terrible things continue to consume us, or how are we going to work through those, overcome them, and move forward. That's where the counseling center can step in, or a referral if you need it. But it's a choice of how you're going to let those past things impact your present life. Work to eliminate blame. You can all think of people who blame things. We all do at some point in time, I imagine. But really, let's focus on how can I take responsibility for my action. I would invite you to continue to look at each role in your role in each situation, and the choices that you have. Because again, you always have a choice. They can be really hard choices on both sides of the issue, but you have a choice. So think about, what are my goals and what am I going to do to achieve them? Why am I letting others dictate my life? And how can I regain control? If you want more help on kind of finding your motivation, or really engaging in accepting responsibility and how to do that and how to evaluate the choices that you have, again, stop in the counseling center. Janelle and I are happy to work with you, and we hope that you are motivated to succeed, and we can't wait to watch what becomes of you. Good luck.